Hi, yes, not bad, thanks. How are you? Oh, hi guys. Sorry, I'm just on the phone to the perfumer for my fragrance Gravitas pour Homme again. We had a bit of a mix-up the other day. He didn't quite know who I was. He thought he was making the fragrance for Lex Ellis. He was actually a bit disappointed in the end, so we're just trying to clear it up. Hi, sorry, I'll be with you in a sec. Yeah. Oh, you've had another look on YouTube. Ah, now you have seen some of my videos. Oh, great. That's it. The Southern English bloke. Great. Oh, I'm glad you think I have a good knowledge of the fragrances. Yes, and you like the channel. Oh, great. Yeah, yeah. Quite a lot of vintage stuff on there. That's me. Yeah, yeah. What? No. What I do? Why do? What do you mean? Why don't I show my face on camera? I do nearly every video. No, no. That's Greggy Boy 76. Okay guys, hello, welcome back. Yes, hello to everyone in the Smelly Army. Before we get into today's video, which is about some great ones, originals from Alexandria Fragrances, just to remind you, if you're interested to see an extra video from me every week for just $2 a month, you can do that in the Smelly Army Private Members Club, which is linked. It's on Patreon. There's a link in the description below to join up. I'd love to see you in there. We are building a great community. Okay, now let's move into the subject for today's video. We're going to be talking about some cracking fragrances from Alexandria Fragrances. Now these are all originals that I'm going to be reviewing today, 3 of them, and it's the Hafez series, named after Hani Hafez, the main man behind Alexandria Fragrances and the perfumer for these 3. In case you're interested in some of their clones or inspired expressions, which is what the House of Alexandria are mainly known for, just to let you know about some of my current favourites. One of them is Casanova, which is a brilliant fragrance. It's based on A Midsummer Night's Dream by Roger Dove. A fantastic, balmy, airy, really nice all year round kind of fragrance. Really kind of a unique smell. Well, it's cloned of that fragrance, but the smell in itself I haven't smelled in anything else out there. Another one that is really good from them, 1981X, is their take on Naxos by Xerjoff. Amazing copy of that one. And I should mention Zion is one of their most popular ones. That's based on Elysium by Roger Parfums. That is a really close replica of it, and it's just so fresh and bright. They did a good job there. My all-time favourite probably of the inspired expressions from them is still Arabian Forest, which is their take on Spice and Wood by Creed. Damn near identical. So if you're interested in the clones they do, they're my some of my top ones. Let's get into the original fragrances though today. So we're going to be looking at the Hafez series. We've got 3 of them. We have, we did Hafez 1984. We also have the one that I dropped, which is Hafez 1984 Intense. And we have Hafez Gold. These are all available on 2 websites. Today I'm going to point you in the direction of Alexandria UK, the UK website, and they have a code on for a few days, and the code is HALLOW20 to do with Halloween. I'm shooting this on the 31st of October. That gives you 20% off everything on their website. And I've put a link to Alexandria UK's website in the description for you. And of course I should mention that the fragrances were sent to me free for review. The main website, if you're in the USA, you'd probably want to order from there. They also have a code which I think just finishes today as I shoot this, the 31st of October, but might still be valid when you watch. And that code I think is Halloween, and that gives you 25% off over there, which brings these down to really, I mean, that's a good discount. Anyway, let's get stuck into the fragrances. A lot of people have sort of asked about these. What's the difference between Hafez 1984 and Hafez 1984 Intense? So I'll run you through the 3 of them pretty quickly. This one is the first one that they released, Hafez 1984. It's an original fragrance. It's not a clone of anything else. It's by Hani Hafez, the perfumer, and it's been really popular. A lot of people talk very highly of this one. I've done an individual review on it. I'm a big fan. The notes in this fragrance officially are listed as tobacco, vanilla, patchouli, rum, and exotic spices. I've got it on here. It's a very rich and winter or autumn or fall appropriate fragrance. It has tremendous performance. It lasts a really long time. Be careful with the sprayer because it goes on a long while. I've got the old style American presentation. I'll talk about the different presentations that they do now. These used to be very basic, but they have upped their game recently. So this one, the thing that I would compare it to a little bit is Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. It's a little bit more light and airy, I find, a little bit less unctuous and heavy than that one, and it's got something of its own stuff going on in there. Definitely these kind of dried fruit accords, and it does share a bit with Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. A really, really nice natural smelling tobacco leaf accord, and a very, very pleasant and well balanced mixture of that with some sweetness and this slightly boozy feel, and what I always get is a certain masculinity from the patchouli in there. Very, very sophisticated smelling. If I was to blind smell this and someone said designer or niche, what do you think? I would definitely say it smells like a niche fragrance. It's really rich. If you love tobacco and vanilla combinations, those kind of dried fruit fragrances, I think it's a really well balanced one. It is quite heavy, so it's one for people who like those kind of scents. It's not the most me type of scent in the world, but I did give it a rave review because I think it's really, really good for the money. And I think at this point I should mention the prices. A 30ml bottle of this one in the UK is going to cost you £30.80 at the moment. Now with the discount, it's going to be quite a bit less than that. So that's just the normal price minus the 20%. I can't do the maths, but that's cheap. 55ml, £52.50 for this fragrance. It's the same price on all the ones that I'm going to review in this video. Over in the States, they're roughly comparable kind of prices for the two size options. Absolutely great fragrance if you like tobacco, rum, boozy notes, sweetness, but you want something that's nicely balanced, not clumsy, not in your face, and has a little bit of its own unique character. That I think there's a Montal fragrance some people compare it to, but I'm not experienced with that one. I really, really like this one. I think it's a great choice for autumn and winter, and I think it's got a little bit of a cult following for a good reason. So Hafez 1984, great original creation from Alexandria Fragrances. I like when the so-called clone houses do these. Okay, moving on then, we're going to go to the next one that they released, and that was Hafez 1984 Intense. My bottle is from Alexandria Fragrances UK, and their presentation usually comes something like this nowadays. They've actually labelled that one just Hafez Intense, but I've seen the new stuff on the website that is now in the UK also called Hafez 1984 Intense. So this one is rather different. The notes in this one are oud, coffee, leather, saffron, jasmine, tonka bean, vanilla and sandalwood. To summarise, there are some similarities, but not an awful lot actually with the other one. So the name Hafez 1984 Intense is not entirely going to give you a great idea of how it smells. It's not an intensified version of the other one, to be frank. This I would class as a semi-gourmandish fragrance because of that note of coffee. It has a really nice milky kind of creamy coffee note, but it's mixed with this leather that keeps it away from out and out gourmand territory. There's also some nice vanilla sweetness. I don't massively pick up on oud, but perhaps that's giving it this slight air of sophistication, and combined with a very nice creamy sandalwood note that I really enjoy in the dry down on this one. I think it's a very, very nice fragrance. So if you're looking for something actually probably a little bit more affable, a little bit less in your face in my opinion than Hafez 1984, the original, this one again, if you said designer or niche and blindfolded me, I'd say definitely that's a niche smelling fragrance. It has very, very good performance. The 1984 original for me slightly better in performance, I think, because of the type of scent profile. That one's pretty much beast mode. This one I would just call a very good performer. This one could be more of a kind of daytime, almost even a work fragrance if you didn't go mad on the trigger, but it's got enough going on. There's leather, there's saffron, there's jasmine, a bit of tonka bean. Does have a really complex and nice mixture of some spiciness, a creamy coffee note, and a very, very well crafted and very, very wearable fragrance that really smells like niche juice. And when you're looking at sort of £30 for your 30ml, I think it's really well worth it. And it's something very unique that not only people in the know in Fragcom really know about this house. So you're going to smell unique. Liking that one a lot. I'll tell you my favourite at the end. Finally, we come to the most recent one in the series of original creations from Hani Hafez, Hafez Gold. So, this one is again, a pretty different kettle of fish. The notes are incense, frankincense, vanilla, cinnamon, and sandalwood. To me, this is probably the most Middle Eastern smelling of the lot because you pick up on that incense note. It also has the vanilla and the sandalwood. It's quite close to the Hafez 1984 Intense, I would say, but with the coffee and gourmand elements taken out. So if you're not in the mood for a gourmandy undertone or semi-gourmand feel, this one has that very, very pleasant sandalwood again in the dry down, nice vanilla, spiciness, and a bit more of this exotic Middle Eastern incense feel. Again, good, very good performance, not quite in the beast mode that I get out of the original Hafez. So I really like that one too. It's his most recent creation, so obviously he's going to be, he's called it Hafez Gold. It suggests he's most proud of this one at the moment, maybe, and I really, really think it's a good performer, a great smell, and again, something a little bit unique. Quite a fascinating fragrance, so I'm really enjoying, and I'm going to be looking forward to wearing this a little bit, I think, over the winter and autumn. None of these are massively normally a Mr. Smelly type of fragrance, so I'm trying to be objective. I'm not going to say that any of these would become my signature scent that I would wear all the time, because I tend to like the old school fougères, the green scents the most. But if you like the more exotic, the more heavy, the more spicy, the more woody fragrances, I think these are three very, very good ones that you should all consider trying. They do sell samples and travel sprays as well over at Alexandria, so well worth checking out some of those. I would say if I had to pick a favourite, just because it's the most obviously wham, it would have to be the first one, Hafez 1984, the original of the three, but I think they're all really, really good. I'd probably give that a 9 out of 10, I think, and the others around about an 8 out of 10. Very, very nice juice indeed. So if you're interested to try them out, there's a link in the description for Alexandria UK. Don't forget to use the code HALLO20 for your 20% off. Let me know what you think about what I've said in today's video. If you are interested to check out Gravitas pour Homme, my own fragrance, it's done incredibly well. We've passed the £20,000 raised mark. We only needed 10,000, that was our target. So thank you to everyone. If you haven't checked it out yet, again, there'll be a link in the description where you can check out the Kickstarter page. As ever, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. I'll see you in the next video very soon. Goodbye.